Good evening, and we begin with that breaking news here tonight, a major defeat for President Trump and his temporary immigration ban. A federal appeals court just a short time ago releasing its ruling, deciding against reinstating the ban. This is a significant setback for this White House after the ban caused controversy across this country and the world. After President Trump's temporary ban on immigrants and travelers from 7 predominantly Muslim nations. So let's get right to our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, who's with me here in New York tonight. John, good evening.
Good evening, David. This is a big setback for the White House and a decision that will outrage the President of the United States. Tonight, a major defeat for the White House. That 3-judge appeals panel deciding not to reinstate the President's travel ban. A big setback for President Trump. The ban set off chaos at airports hours after it went into effect. Families detained. Makeshift legal clinics set up. An Iraqi translator for the U.S. government turned away and only allowed back into the country once the Washington state court put the travel ban on hold.
I fought for my rights and I succeed.
President Trump started attacking the judges of the Ninth Circuit Court even before they issued their ruling.
And I was a good student. I understand things. I comprehend very well, okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody. And I want to tell you, I listened to a bunch of stuff last night on television that was disgraceful.
But lawyers for Washington state argued the president's executive order violated the Constitution and had done harm not just to the travelers from the affected countries, but also to the state of Washington.
What's the irreparable harm to the state of Washington?
We had students and faculty at our state universities who were stranded overseas. We had families that were separated.
The White House argued that the president clearly has the authority to impose the ban and that putting it on hold is downright dangerous.
Believe me, I've learned a lot in the last 2 weeks, and terrorism is a far greater threat than the people of our country understand.
All right, so let's get back to our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight. First, are we hearing from this White House? And it would seem President Trump was already taking aim even before the decision.
Well, we're hearing from the Justice Department just now, David, saying the Justice Department is reviewing this decision and will consider its options. But you're exactly right on this. You heard from the President of the United States. As he heard the oral arguments, he called them disgraceful. They won't be surprised by this, but they will be outraged by it. He said any high school kid would know that the President has the authority to do this. Obviously, the court disagreed.
All right, John Karl, stay with us here because we do want to bring in ABC's Terry Moran, who covers the courts for us. So the temporary ban will not be reinstated, Terry, but what comes next?
Well, what comes next, David, is essentially a trial because the lower court judge here, he issued his order halting this immigration ban because he wanted to call a timeout to the whole thing and take a look at the evidence. Who gets hurt by this ban? What are the government's interests? And is what President Trump is trying to do here lawful? That's what will happen next. They'll take a good look at it in court. One important thing, this court, the appeals court, says that in that trial, evidence that this ban may have been intended as a discriminatory act to disfavor Muslims, that can be entered, including statements by President Donald Trump and his associates themselves. This could go all the way to the Supreme Court. David?
All right, Terry Moran, John Karl leading us off tonight. Our thanks to you both. In the